You're watching the analysis report by FinancialMirror.tv. Gordon Brown has shrugged off criticism from Germany's finance minister of his economic policies, saying the remarks were influenced by internal politics. Piers Steinbrück criticized the decision to cut VAT and raise national debt levels, saying the UK's response to the crisis was crass and breathtaking. His comments in an interview with Newsweek magazine represented an unusual breach of standard diplomacy. They also exposed apparent divisions in Europe over its response to the global economic downturn as EU leaders prepare to gather in Brussels on Thursday for a summit to discuss the issue. Brown defended the government's decision to cut taxes and raise borrowing to support the economy through a likely recession, telling LBC Radio, "The important thing is that almost every country around the world is doing what we have been doing." He added, "Actually, the German government is investing more. They have just announced a fiscal expansion so that they can invest in public works and helping their banks and doing those sorts of things." The German minister questioned the effectiveness of the UK's decision to cut VAT from 17.5% to 15%, saying, "Are you really going to buy a DVD player because it now costs 39.10 sterling instead of 39.90? The Chancellor announced in last month's pre-budget statement that the government would inject an extra 20 billion sterling into the UK economy in a bid to get it moving again. At least 15 billion sterling of this total will come from increased government borrowing, which is expected to take the UK's total annual public sector deficit to 118 billion sterling next year. While the German finance minister has accused the UK of overspending on the economic recovery, the German government has put 480 billion euros, or the equivalent of 370 billion sterling, into a rescue package for its own banks. Most other European governments have also increased public spending to try to ease the impact of the economic downturn. France recently announced plans to spend 26 billion euros, and the European Commission wants to spend 200 billion euros across the EU. Unlike 1992, when the comments by the then Bundesbank chief sent sterling out of the ERM and humiliated the UK government of John Major, this time around, the impact of the German comments were mostly brushed aside by the market, even though we have to admit that sterling continued lower and touched yet another record low of 0.89 against the euro. Thanks for watching FinancialMirror.tv.